Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Athletics and Wellness Center on the campus of Earlham College as we bring you Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference women's basketball. Tonight, Earlham Quakers at 1-14 overall, 1-7 in conference play, will host the Fighting Engineers of Rose-Hulman, who come in at 12-3 and now 7-1 in HCAC play. This is the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show. I'm Troy Nargowski. Great to have you with us. Earlham hoping to keep the momentum going after winning on Saturday. It was their first win of the year. They beat Mount St. Joe by a final of 63-58, snapping their 14-game losing streak this season. Meanwhile, on the other side, they're going to run up against a Rose team who just beat Defiance 55-42 and have now won 8 out of their last 9. Rose right now is tied with Bluffton for first in the conference at 7-1. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on our HCAC report. As we get things rolling tonight on the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show, we're going to hear from head coach Janelle Iden coming up in just a couple of moments. We'll also check out the scouting report. We'll take a closer look at this Rose-Hulman basketball team. We'll have our HCAC report, the tale of the tape, the starters, and the tip. It's all coming up right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you were born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shear.
Hi, this is Troy Nargowski of Radio Troy Digital Sports. There are plenty of places for me to get lunch or dinner, but there's only one Mancino's. In fact, I was just there for lunch the other day and had a delicious pizza grinder. That's just one of many choices I can get at Mancino's. How about a fresh salad? Several varieties of pasta, Mancino's Lights, or perhaps even an oven-baked spaghetti, or maybe a pepperoni pizza. So when you're looking for a great lunch or dinner, make sure you choose Mancino's, 217 National Road West in Richmond. For over a century, Richmond Power and Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, Richmond Power and Light is advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. For more information on Richmond Power and Light, go to their website at rp-l.com. Richmond Power and Light. Together, we make powerful partners.
Coach, let's go ahead and talk about Rose-Hulman here tonight. You look at their statistics, and you talked about this earlier today. They don't score a ton of points, but they play really good defense, and they rebound. Let's talk about what your strategy will be to – I mean, bottom line is, I think you can stay in this ball game if you don't turn the basketball over and play with them a little bit because they can't score as much.
Yeah, like I said, they're going to try to limit our possession, so we got to take care of the ball or take good shots. That's really what it's going to come down to because they just play such good stifling defense. I know they're top 15 in the nation right now defensively. That's really what's going to come down to how we take care of the ball and, like I said, good shots. But we need also we don't want to get into they can get into a game where it's like 40-35, and that's pretty boring, to be honest, but that's kind of their style of play. I mean, I'm not saying we can't try to win in that way, but I do think we still need to push the ball, still try to attack them, go at them. That's one way Manchester, who knocked them off, beat them, was they got the free throw line. I think there was 22 fouls. They got to the free throw line 29 times, something like that, and that's how they got their points. So that's a key focus too, is to still be the aggressors on offense.
Do you ever go into a game thinking about a style of a team and try to think, well, do we play their kind of style? Do we do what we do? Do we mix it up a little bit? How do you kind of determine what you want to do? And then even in the game itself, you kind of change as the game goes along and adjust as it goes?
Yes. So the program we have, Synergy, is an awesome. The one thing I bought this year, and I'm thankful I did, was a shot chart. So it kind of really exposes them on offense and defensively where the points are being scored on them or not being scored, or where are they weak or where they're not. So try to look at that. I mean, not that that's a perfect answer to everything, but look at that. It's a lot of analysis, like, what do they do really well? Where's their weaknesses? And then what do we have that can combat that? And, yeah, I have, like, 2 things in my pocket. I'm going to try one thing. If it completely fails or just not really feeling it, then I got something else ready to go to make the adjustment as well.
You know, baseball does that a lot. I mean, bottom line is that they go to the statistics and all the tendencies and everything. Is that something that you mentioned a little bit ago? You may do it a little bit. Do you anticipate that's something you'd like to do more in the future?
Synergy gives you so much that it could consume your whole day. Like, I do like Wednesdays because I get an extra day with Sunday, and that's my chance to, like, sit down and overanalyze a little bit and kind of go, okay. I mean, I did this in the past, even before Synergy. Like, I look at split stats. When they win, what's their stats? When they lose, did somebody double in points when they win? And that's like, looking over all the little aspects like that, trying to see if and not that it's always a science. Somebody can show up, and I'm not going to base everything on analytics. I know, like, Brad Stevens is a pretty big analytical guy, but there are definitely some pros to it, and I try to use that to my advantage. But it's just so much stuff you can be overwhelmed with it, and it's also, I don't want it to take away from focusing on my own team that I'm so worried about the other team either.
You mentioned the one thing about you guys want to get up and down the floor a little bit. If you get into the half court, will you try to use shot clock as much as you can like they will on the other end just to try to make sure they don't get the basketball back?
I mean, we just try to take good shots, not anything arid. You don't want to – they do want you to grind it out a little bit. So I want to get good shots. But also I don't want to say, like, red lighty. I want people to not be thinking about, oh, do I shoot it, do I not shoot it? Just kind of play our game. I mean, we are who we are, and I'm not going to, like, try to completely overhaul it for one game.
It isn't that you're not getting good shots, Coach. You just got to nail those shots once in a while. And your shooting percentage isn't where you want it to be, but you're getting some pretty good looks.
Yeah, I don't know where we are right now. I know we were one of the top in attempts in the conference, so that's telling me, as a coach, like, okay, we are getting attempts. The percentages are going up, thankfully, a little bit. I know last game, thank God, the ball went in the hole because they packed it in on us. So we've improved a little bit with our shooting percentage. And like I told you before, I thought January was time when things would kind of start to turn around a little bit, and I do think there's some things that are clicking a little bit better now.
Are they going to zone you a little bit more tonight after seeing your last game and how much they zoned you?
I highly doubt it. They have not zoned once this year. If he does, then props to him. He came out with something completely different. But they just play really good defense. They don't need to zone. They don't. They play really good pack defense, and they know what they're doing. And I think they have a lot of talent, so they should do what they want to do.
I saw Hannah out here earlier shooting, and she was starting to kind of get a little bit of a rhythm. And I don't know if that means anything, but we talked about her in the last couple of games we've done, games where the ankle situation has kind of bothered her. Where is she right now, and is that more mental at this stage, or is she still physically not where she needs to be?
She told me she's fine, so I'm going to take her word for it that she's fine and coming back around. I thought in the last week or so she's been showing fine. She hit a couple threes against Mount St. Joseph's, and that's not really her thing, to be honest. And I did fine. I think anything the last couple games, I know against Defiance, she missed some pretty easy stuff around the rim, and there was just no explanation for it. And even watching film, it's just blank layup. So there's no ankle or anything involved in that. I just think regaining her groove and so forth. But I think there's been some positives in it. Like, I do think other people have stepped up, and the scoring opportunities have arisen because she can't necessarily be the only one carrying all the weight.
We talk so much about shooting and scoring and turnovers. That's about rebounding. You talk about a good rebounding basketball team. That's Rose, because they don't give them many second opportunities. Well, your possessions tonight really magnified a lot more.
Yeah, but we still got to crash. I still think in the games they've lost, people still crash really hard. I think sometimes people get defeated, like, oh, I can't get anything, and just start retreating. But no, you got to try to, force the issue. You got to make them uncomfortable. You got to see if you can get some fouls on them on putbacks, or fouls on them holding you, trying to keep you off the boards, and that's a key thing too. And as well, and we're going to try to keep a safety not as deep, and keep her in the picture as well, because they will push it, but they don't leak to push it. So that's an aspect to an adjustment to make as well for today. So, but we do need to try to get some more boards. Even if we don't get them, like, at least make them work for it, not just grasping them easily and going the other way.
The other key to that is staying out of foul trouble, and sometimes Maya and Feathers and your bigs get a little bit of trouble because they get over aggressive. Is that a huge key for you guys tonight to make sure they stay on the floor as much as possible?
Yeah, I mean, we want to keep them off the free throw line. That is one of our keys today. And I do think Maya's been doing much better in the last few games. She hasn't, last week, knock on wood, where wood is. But she's done a lot better, and I do think even Shania has done better in this inside. And I try to make a little bit of adjustment today to try to keep them a little bit out of foul trouble. But they got to move their feet, they got to be active, they got to talk in order to, stay out of foul trouble ultimately.
Coach, last thing is the mentality's got to be a lot better for your basketball team after getting that win and finally getting, as we talked about that this morning, getting that elephant off your back right now. You guys can now concentrate on just now winning basketball games and don't have to worry about that now.
Well, the thing that was nice about Saturday was, like I told you earlier, it wasn't a pretty game by any stretch of imagination. But the thing was, we started down 9-0. And we didn't freak out. We got the lead. And then once we got the lead, there was a few times they made some runs, but then we hit a clutch shot or something. And we didn't let them tie it or get within 2 the rest of the game. And I think that's saying a lot for a team that's not won to that point. We're on the road. It could be here we go again mentality. And it wasn't the case. And, I'm trying to make some adjustments to coach about staying calm and not being as lively, if you will, because I feel like that's maybe the adjustment I can make as a coach for the team to just keep the calmness, we got this, don't freak out, especially with the young, hyper alert people on the team. So that was something to take away from Saturday is how well they responded, knocking down some free throws down the stretch and having the confidence. And I hope that, if anything, carries over to this game and beyond.
Coach, good luck tonight.
Thanks very much.
Head coach Janelle Iden, her thoughts about what to expect tonight, and certainly up against a very good defensive team. Let's go ahead and scout this Rose-Hulman team. Your scouting report brought to you by Harrington Oak Insurance. At Harrington Oak, they spend every day working to make our community better, safer, and more enjoyable because their focus is on insurance, and that's it. They're on top of industry changes and are a one-stop shop for all your insurance needs, whether it's business, personal, life, or health. That's why when it comes to protecting you and what's important to you, Harrington Oak insures it. Give them a call at 962-9502 or go to their website, harringtonoak.com. Harrington Oak, we got it. Rose-Hulman, we'd mentioned a little bit ago, they are on a pretty good winning streak. When you consider they lost their one game in the last 9 in overtime, they've won 8 out of 9, 7-1 now in the conference. We talked about this, only scoring 59 points per game, but they only give up 48.8. Their shooting percentage not real good. We'll put these two teams side by side here in just a couple of moments. But again, their shooting percentage not really good overall at 39%. They don't shoot very well from 3, but again, this is a good rebounding basketball team as they're averaging 43.9 rebounds per game. I think the Quakers can turn them over a little bit here today, probably not as much as they would like, to make up for, certainly if you look at the Quakers and the amount of turnovers, they'll turn it over. Let's go ahead and put up the Subway tail of the tape as well, and you can take a look at the numbers side by side. But Rose-Hulman led by 2 very good players up front. One of those will be Allie Brahmanshenker, and she, by the way, averaging 13.3 points, averaging around 7.5 rebounds, 1.3 blocks, and shoots 51%. By far their best player. Eliza Dilworth averaging 8.3 points per game and 1.9 steals. Josie Smith gives them good size at 6'3", and she's averaging 8.2 points per game. And then Abby Broman-Schenkel is also going to be one to watch for tonight, averaging 6.9 points per game. There you see the Subway tail of the tape as well. Neither team really big in scoring tonight, but again, the biggest difference, you look at the defensive points given up by the Quakers, now 9th in the conference, and then you see right there Rose-Hulman, they are 1st in the conference, and then go down to the rebounds. Look at the difference there. Quakers 8th in the conference in rebounding. Meanwhile, there is Rose-Hulman. They are 1st in the conference in rebounding with that 43.9. Huge key tonight for the bigs. For the Quakers, that again is the Harrington Oak scouting report and the Subway tail of the tape. We'll come back. Starters are coming up next. Stay right there. This is Earlham Women's Basketball right here in Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Maybe you haven't heard, but there's a place in Richmond's Depot District that's better than being home. Little Sheba's is a lot like the bar in that 80s TV show Cheers. You know, where everybody knows your name. Come on down after the game on Fridays and join us for pizza. We're here till 11. Or grab some of your friends and try out a game of live trivia Thursday nights at 6:30. If you love live music, Little Sheba's features some of the very best every weekend. Where else are you going to find this kind of variety, along with some of the best food and friends in town? Little Sheba's in Richmond's Depot District. It really is better than being home.
There's only one place to go on the World Wide Web to find the best automotive deals. Wetzelauto.com. One of the area's largest inventories all in one spot. Wetzelauto.com. Here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wetzelauto.com. New and used vehicles, service, parts, body shop, and rental. Plus, value your trade. It's easy to navigate. It's convenient. Wetzelauto.com. It's clickin' awesome.
Are new cabinets on your wish list? Visit the new Georgia Direct showroom and see the great variety of cabinets on display in a modern setting. Georgia Direct carries quality craft-made one cabinets, and the new showroom has plenty of styles and colors on display. In Richmond, craft-made one is only available at Georgia Direct, where the designers are always on hand to help create a custom kitchen for your home. Visit Georgia Direct's new showroom on 40 East, next to Red Lobster. You'll love what you see, and you'll love the savings at Georgia Direct.
Summit Computers in Richmond is a full-service computer manufacturing and support company founded in 1997. They partner with businesses and individuals to provide computer systems, hardware, service, support, and design services. They also provide web hosting, high-speed wireless internet, network design, and much, much more. Summit Computers, the official provider of RadioTroy.com.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you were born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
Hey, this is Steve, and out at Jiffy Lube the other day, a customer came in and said, Steve, this was my 100th oil change on this car, and you've done them all.
Hi, my name is George Farrell, and I've been coming to Jiffy Lube for over 14 years. I recently just had my 100th oil change. I'd like to thank Steve Funkhauser and his staff for the great service that they've provided me over the years. Thank you to all, and I would recommend anyone to come to Jiffy Lube to get their car serviced.
Jiffy Lube, #1 in customer satisfaction for a reason.
There are banks that are big, and then there's West End Bank, a bank with big ideas to help people, business, and industry. If you're just starting out on your own and want a new car, West End can help. Maybe it's your first home and you need advice on financing. West End Bank has ideas to help you. West End Bank, helping build better lives and a better community. West End Bank is a community bank with big ideas and home to a distinctive style of banking. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Back once again here at the Athletics and Wellness Centers. We get set for tonight's matchup. Here are the starting lineups. Let's go ahead and go with, first off, the Fighting Engineers of Rose-Hulman. Here's how they're expected to line up here this evening. At guard, number 23, Abby Bromanshankel, a 5'11 sophomore. She's averaging 6.9 points per game. At guard, number 30, Eliza Dilworth, 5'8 and a junior, averaging 8.3 points per game. At forward, number 33, Abby Marshall, 5'10 and a senior, 5.8 per game. At forward, number 42, Allie Bromanshankel, 6'1 and a sophomore, averaging 13.3. And then at forward, number 50, Jenna Query, 5'11 and a sophomore, averaging 2.1 points per game. Here's how the Quakers expected lineup tonight. Lexi McFarland at guard, number 3, 5'2 and a senior, averaging 5.3 points per game. At forward, number 14, Mariah Flynn, 5'11 and a junior, averaging 5.7 points per contest. At guard, number 25, Shannon Pittman, 5'11 and a freshman, averaging 9.8 points per game. Also at guard, Hannah Franklin, 5'5 and a senior, 11.8 points per game, number 30. And then Maya Looney getting the start at forward, 5'10 and a senior, averaging 5.2 points and 6.9 rebounds. Looney wearing number 42. So again tonight for Rose-Hulman, Abby Bromanshankel, Dilworth, Marshall, Allie Bromanshankel, and Query. For the Quakers, McFarland, Flynn, Pittman, Franklin, and Looney. Now the big question is, how will we go about identifying both of the Broman-Shankles? Abby and Allie. I could say Broman-Shankle a lot here tonight, so we may have to go with Abby B and Allie B. That's a lot of words to throw into two names right there, but they are two very, very good players for Rose-Hulman, and we're going to be seeing those two names a lot here tonight. So here we go, ready to get this one underway. Quakers in the home whites, fighting Engineers in their traveling maroon. Rose-Hulman again 7-1 in the conference. Quakers at 1-7. And we're ready to tip this one off here tonight. Quakers coming off that win against Mount St. Joe, back home tonight, then back on the road for their next two. We mentioned Rose-Hulman. They have won 8 out of their last 9, and they are playing some very good basketball coming into this one here tonight. I'll be curious to see defensively what they'll do against the Quakers. Quakers shot a ton of three-pointers in their last game at Mount St. Joe. In the middle will be Allie Broman-Shankle, and it'll be Quaker basketball. So we are underway. Thanks for being with us. College basketball on this Wednesday night. Quakers need to make a run if they plan on thinking anything about a possible HCAC tournament berth. Here is Mariah Flynn. Pittman out front, swings it left side down to McFarland. Entry pass intended for Looney. Quakers with their first turnover. And here come the Fighting Engineers. Lob pass underneath. Shot fake put up no good by Abby Marshall. And Looney with a rebound. So first attempt once again by the Fighting Engineers coming up empty. So both teams have now had a chance to touch the basketball. That is McFarland. Guarded very close by Dilworth. Good size advantage there for Dilworth. Quakers working on the right side. Entry pass Looney. Looney spins with the left hand. Left it short off the front of the rim. And the rebound by Allie Broman-Shankle. Here come the Fighting Engineers once again. That is Marshall to Abby Broman-Shankle, a 5'11 sophomore. And they'll be very patient. They will use, your coach talked about it, they'll generally use all of that shot clock on every possession. So you're going to play a lot of defense. That shot in the corner is off the mark by Dilworth. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will be Quaker basketball. Again, women's college basketball, we play quarters. Changed a couple of years ago, and then we'll be shooting 2 fouls after every 5 fouls per team. So now it will be Quaker basketball. Coming off the screen, Franklin, the shot on the way, good. So the Quakers get on the board first. And Earlham now leads this one 2-0. Not expecting a ton of points here tonight. That shot off the glass, good by Allie Broman-Shankle. And we're tied at 2 apiece. So Franklin leading the Quakers in scoring, as is Allie Broman-Shankle at 13.3 points per game. Pittman shot fake, drives in the lane, and they'll get it for a travel. That's the second turnover now for the Quakers. And that's a big area. There's 2 areas tonight. Number 1, Quakers cannot turn the basketball over 20-plus times. And number 2, they cannot get beaten tonight in the rebounding department. Abby Broman-Shankle with the basketball out front to Dilworth. They'll swing it around the perimeter now to Marshall. Skip pass. We'll find Broman-Shankle. That was Abby Broman-Shankle, and then a travel called against Dilworth, and that'll be the first turnover by Rose-Hulman. Quakers, last time we did a game, they played about 7.5 minutes with their starters before the coach went to the bench and made the changes. Really let those starters get into the flow of a ball game. Here's Flynn between the circles. Entry pass, Pittman. Tip from behind, and we've got a foul. And that'll go against Abby Marshall. And so Marshall will pick up her first. 7:27 remaining in the opening period, and the official will now stop play. They did reset the 30-second shot clock. Quakers 4 across high on this set, as McFarland with the basketball, gets the screen from Looney. Looney rolling inside, receives, double team, kicks out to Pittman for three. Didn't get her legs underneath that shot. And the rebound by Allie Bromanshenkel. Here come the Fighting Engineers once again. Again, good ball movement. It's a very sound basketball team the Quakers are facing here tonight. That is Marshall on the right wing. Still 15 on the shot clock. And Dilworth travels with it. So 2 turnovers now by Rose-Hulman. Quakers have 2. And now the Engineers with 2 turnovers here in the opening period of play. Tied at 2 apiece. We get score in the low 50s. If both teams go the way they're going right now, that could be a stretch. Quaker basketball. Looney, she traveled with it. No whistle. Drives hard off the glass. Rebound. Flynn had it partially blocked, and the rebound by Allie Bromanshenkel. Engineers basketball. Driving down the lane, and a foul called, and it may be Looney who picks up the foul. In rare time right there, you saw Abby Marshall just put her head down and head right to the basket. So Looney picks up the foul. That is her first. And Abby Marshall out of St. Louis, Missouri will step to the free throw line for the first time tonight. And this will be a 2-shot foul, and the first one's on the way and good, and Rose-Hulman has taken a 1-point lead. Quakers make a change as Looney coming out. And into the ball game for the Quakers will be Shania Feathers. Feathers averaging 2.9 points per game. Second free throw is good. And the Engineers now lead this one by 2. Anna Franklin, again, we talked about her ankle injury, appears to be as close to 100% as you can expect. It drives, misses. Quakers been a little bit hard on their first couple of shots. Engineers quickly down the floor. Dilworth reverses back outside to Abby Bromanshenkel, and once again it'll be Dilworth. Abby Bromanshenkel playing catch on this left side with Dilworth. They're looking for an opening underneath. Here's a pass off to the right side. Shot no good by Query. Ball loose on the floor. Picked up by Franklin. 3-on-1 break the other way. Here's Pittman. Goes by the defender and missed another layup. The Quakers have missed some shots really close, and that was something that we talked about in the pregame, that they got to be able to hit those layups. Taylor Graham will come in. Graham is out of Fishers, Indiana, played at Hamilton Southeastern. And Josie Schmidt coming in, the 6'3 senior out of 84, Pennsylvania. And the foul's going to be called against Dilworth. Dilworth just picked up her first. Team foul number 2 now on the Engineers. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. Quakers inbound. That's Franklin. McFarland getting the screen from Feathers. McFarland right off that shoulder did a nice job taking the screen. Flynn will reverse it back out to Franklin. Shot no good. Long rebound. Franklin going after it. It goes out of bounds on the sideline, and it's going to be last touched by Franklin. She, along with Dilworth, fighting after the loose basketball. It will be Fighting Engineers ball. 5:44 to go. Once again here in the opening quarter. More size in that lineup with Schmidt in there at 6'3", working off the high post. Here's Graham. Off on the right wing once again to Dilworth. Graham will fire and miss it. Long rebound, tipped, and it will go out of bounds. It'll go back over to Earlham. Quakers will make a few changes. Ashley Meadows coming in. 5'7", sophomore, number 24. We will also see coming into the lineup Cameron White, a 5'6" freshman. So the Quakers going into their bench after a little bit quicker this time than what we saw in their last game. Still just 4-2 here in the opening quarter. Here's Hannah Franklin. The lob pass down to Feathers. Feathers turns toward the block, added, blocked inside by Schmidt. As Feathers tried to go to her right, and Schmidt was there. Here's Graham. Abby Bromanshenkel back to Graham. Graham will kick it out front now to Dilworth. Here's Graham once again. They're trying to post up underneath, as now they look to go high-low. And that shot's on the way, no good by Schmidt, and we've got a jump ball. One change is Chiara Franklin has come in now for Rose-Hulman. She's a 5'9" sophomore out of Kansas City. She wears number 45. averaging 4.1 points per game. A fresh 30 on the shot clock. Schmidt will receive. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Here's Abby Broman-Schenkel. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound by Graham. And the kick out and another fresh 30. Talked about rebounding just a little bit ago. And a fresh 30 once again here for the Engineers. And Schmidt will have her shot blocked by Feathers. Somehow able to pick it up and lay it in will be Franklin. And the Engineers now lead this one by 4. And there's another turnover for the Quakers. That'll be their third. Back the other way. The kick. Once again, the extra pass. The three-point shot no good by Franklin. And coming out with it, Pittman for the Quakers. So now the Quakers trying to get something going offensively. Again, just 2 points so far here in the opening quarter. Meadows on the drive, lost it. Fourth turnover now by Earlham. Here's Abby Broman-Schenkel. Will stop, fires in the corner. Dilworth passes up the three. They're not a good three-point shooting team, so they'll think twice many times before shooting it. But again, they want to play in that half court, and they're doing so once again. 10 seconds on the shot clock. They'll reverse it right side to Graham. Back outside to Abby Broman-Schenkel. Three-pointer no good. Pittman with a rebound there for the Quakers. And we have a foul in the backcourt against Franklin. And Franklin just picked up her first. Quakers make more changes. We'll see Kendall Spears come in. Also back in will be Lexi McFarland as Pittman and Franklin will sit down. Looks like Marshall has come back in for the Fighting Engineers. Let's see if one other player's come in as well. Looks like that's Sophie Brooks. Brooks, number 14, a freshman out of Chicago. And it'll be Quaker basketball. Still held to just 2 points here in the quarter. Feathers reversing it to Sparks on the right wing. Sparks will take the screen out front. Now reverses it to the right hand. Here's McFarland out front once again. 10 on the shot clock. Here's White. Back to McFarland. Looks for a screen. It'll be Feathers and a travel. Boy, the Quakers just making some silly turnovers here in the first quarter. That is 5. And, boy, is a senior right there. Lexi McFarland. Got to put that ball on the floor. So here's Brooks across the timeline. Quakers still held to just 2 points in the quarter. Marshall. Back once again to Brooks. The three-pointer, air ball. Rebounded by Meadows. Meadows comes out on the dribble. Lead pass will find McFarland. Behind the back dribble now with the left hand in the circle. Pulls up. No good on the two-pointer. And the rebound by Josie Schmidt. Here come the Engineers once again. They'll try to run a little bit. Here's Schmidt, and she travels with it. Am I missing something here? You put the ball on the floor first, and we haven't seen that much so far here in the opening quarter. Back in the ball game for the Quakers will be Mariah Flynn, the 5'11 junior. Good to see Flynn have a good game tonight, just from a standpoint of junior, and Quakers need her leadership as a junior. Here is Spears. Didn't get much playing time the last time we were here. White on the right elbow. Inside Feathers. Feathers, will she go back toward the baseline? She'll up and under in the kick out. 6 on the shot clock. Here's McFarland, the screen by Flynn. 2 seconds, 1 second, and the Quakers cannot get the shot off. And that'll be a turnover number 6 now for the Quakers. And now Zoe Curtis, the 5'10 freshman out of Newcastle, coming in, and also back in for the Quakers. We will see the veteran Hannah Franklin. 1:44 to go in the quarter. Quakers may be going for their season low in points. There's another travel, no whistle on Marshall. Brooks back out to Marshall. 16 feet away, got the roll. Marshall now with 4. That's her first basket. And the Quakers down by 6. Here's Franklin getting the screen from Curtis. Franklin draws the double team. Dropping back for the Engineers is Chiara Franklin. Here's Sparks. Sparks guarded out front by Marshall. Size advantage there for Rose-Hulman. 7 on the shot clock. Here's White losing control, and we've got a jump ball. It will stay with the Quakers, but they lose the possession arrow. Turnover number 7. 1 minute remaining. Entry pass, Curtis. She'll work against Schmidt at 6'3", and then a shot clock violation. That is the second shot clock violation on the Quakers. So the Quakers now with 8 turnovers here in the first quarter, and only 2 points to show so far. Here's Graham. Marshall from 3, rims in and out. And the rebound by Spears, for the Quakers. Here's Flynn, 3-pointer. Needed that one right there. Big bucket for the Quakers. Mariah Flynn gets her first points of the night. Quakers, when they make a basket, they can try to trap. When they don't make a basket, there's nothing they can do. Is that ball thrown away? Nope, it'll stay right here. Shot clock is off near turnover pass intended for Schmidt inside. 20.7 remaining on the clock. Brooks will inbound on the baseline. In the corner, Graham, 3-pointer, good. Another big bucket for Graham. And the Quakers trail at 11-5, and they'll have one last look right here. 8 seconds. Here's Franklin. Shot no good. Rebound Marshall. 3 seconds. Marshall pushing it up the floor to Graham on the pass. Graham in desperation can't get it to go. And that will do it for the opening period of play. And as we anticipated, a low-scoring first period. On the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, Rose-Hulman 11, Earlham 5. This is Earlham Women's Basketball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
The dealership where I bought my car told me I needed new tires. So, of course, I stopped by Best One and asked Roger to take a look. So they checked it out, and he told me not yet. He said I was good for at least another 10,000 miles. I've always gotten an honest opinion at Best One, and so will you.
Hi, I'm Roger Clark at Best One Tire and Service. We'll only sell you tires when you need new tires, and they'll be the right tires for your car or truck. I guarantee it.
Best One Tire and Service, North 7th and A, Uptown Richmond.
Hey, tonight's game brought to you in part by Square Donuts of Richmond. Whether it's a delicious breakfast, afternoon treat, or a midnight snack, everyone loves the taste of Square Donuts of Richmond. Enjoy their huge cinnamon rolls or any of the other crowd favorites, including maple bacon, strawberry cheesecake, Oreo cream, pumpkin spice, and many, many more. And, of course, grab those award-winning glazed donuts voted #1 in the entire state. Proud to be your favorite donut shop and home to the best donuts in town, the only squares around, Square Donuts of Richmond. Quakers led in scoring by Mariah Flynn with the 3-pointer. Hannah Franklin with 2. Abby Marshall, 4 points in that opening period for the Engineers. 3 points by Graham. And it will be Engineers basketball. Abby Broman-Schenkel, left side, 3-pointer no good by Graham. And coming out with it, Mariah Flynn. Quick outlet pass will find Franklin. Franklin now will pull it back with the right hand. Starts to go baseline. Cut off there by Abby Broman-Schenkel. And now the Quakers set it up once again. By the way, Maya Looney back in the ball game for the Quakers, as is Pittman. Also coming in for the Quakers will be Amy Wiesner. Wiesner just a freshman. Pass intended for Looney. Turnover Quakers. That's number 9. And Earlham again shooting themselves in the foot here in the first half. Schmidt will reverse it left side to Dilworth. Back to Schmidt. Quick passing now to Abby Broman-Schenkel. Down low, the kick by Query, and a turnover by Rose-Hulman. That is their 4th. Boy, both teams not helping their own cause, but especially the Quakers. We mentioned how that's a huge key. 9 turnovers in the first half. That double screen out front. Franklin now picks up her dribble, gives it to Looney. Looney driving down the lane, stripped out of her hands, and saving that from going out of bounds is Dilworth. 10th turnover now for the Quakers. Here's Graham. Abby Broman-Schenkel back to Graham. They're looking to post underneath. Allie Broman-Schenkel. And the Quakers have done a nice job taking her post game away so far. Reversal now to Abby Broman-Schenkel, 10 on the shot clock. Here's the kick outside to Dilworth for three, short. And boy, the Quakers really want to make them shoot the three-point shot, and they have really struggled, speaking of the Engineers tonight, from the outside. Pittman driving, and the shot blocked out of bounds by Abby Broman-Schenkel. And we have more changes now. For the first time tonight, we'll see Taylor Stroud come in, the 5'9 freshman for the Quakers. Kayla Gherkin will come in, a 5'11 sophomore now for the Engineers. And Hannah Woody coming in, a 5'7 freshman out of Cincinnati. Fouls are going to be called on 24, which is Woody. Hannah Woody only averaging 1.6 points per game, but both teams going deep into their bench. In fact, only one player right now has not played for Rose-Hulman here in the first half. Fresh 30 on the shot clock, so the Quakers chance here to reset. Here's Hannah Franklin working against Abby Broman-Schenkel. Pittman looking low to Stroud. Now it'll be Looney back to Pittman. Pittman driving, bounce pass Stroud, left-hand shot, no. And another miss inside for the Quakers, right near the basket. Here's Dilworth. Dilworth stripped out of her hands by Pittman. Fifth turnover, Rose-Hulman. Pittman back the other way. Pittman then turns it over as well. Steal once again by Abby Broman-Schenkel. 11 turnovers for the Quakers, 5 now for Rose-Hulman. Here's Woody. Ball tipped out front. It was tipped by a defender, so it's a free basketball right there for Dilworth. Dilworth crossing to the right hand, bounce pass right side to Woody. Woody drives with the left hand, stops just shy of the key, and back outside once again to Dilworth. 3 on the shot clock. Dilworth off the glass, missed it, and the rebound by Stroud. Stroud will bring it out herself. 3-on-2 break the other way. Stroud will find Wiesner. Three-pointer no good. Long rebound Pittman. Pittman starts to penetrate, knocked out of her hands, and last touch by Abby Marshall. Cameron White will check in for Earlham. Hannah Franklin will sit down. Franklin with 2 points. Quakers still trail at 11-5 here in the second quarter. And there's another turnover in and out of the hands of Stroud. Back the other way. Then the basket is good as Stroud will commit the foul against Allie Broman-Schenkel. And Allie with her second basket, a chance to complete the three-point play. And the Quakers are going to get a timeout right here. 6:43 to go in period number 2. Timeout Quakers. And Earlham down in this one on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, 13-5.
It takes a lot of pieces working together to run a successful business in today's world. One big piece is your connectivity, powered by your internet. For local businesses in Richmond, you have options for who provides your internet. When deciding who to go with, you need to look at Parallax Systems, fiber optic packaging for your benefit. Speed, reliability, and local service, you get it all with Parallax Systems, a division of RP&L. Visit online at parallax.ws or call 962-3770.
Well, the biggest number right now for the Quakers is the 12 turnovers. And we go to the free throw line. This will be Allie Broman-Schenkel. Will look to complete the three-point play. You'll have to go up a little bit more there. There you go.
Thank you.
Free throw good. 14-5. Rose-Hulman will make a change. We'll see Kayla Gherkin come back in. And now for the first time, we'll see Rose-Hulman will apply a little bit of pressure. Here's White. White will bring it across the timeline. Wiesner on the left elbow. Lob pass down low to Looney. Looks opposite side and knocked away. Another turnover. That's number 13 for the Quakers. Boy, you can turn and look, but you better make sure that low side and the backside defender is not standing in the lane. It's going to be an easy turnover against a good defensive team like Rose-Hulman. Woody down in the baseline, and a foul will be called. They went inside to Franklin for Rose-Hulman. I think they got Looney. And Looney just picked up number 2. And talking with Quakers head coach Janelle Iden in our pregame, the one other key is keep those bigs in the game because this is such a good rebounding team. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. Brooks inbounding to Franklin, and Brooks receiving at the elbow. Here's Dilworth. Swinging it left side now to Woody. Woody looking down low, nothing there. Quakers did a good job covering. There's a travel once again by Dilworth, no whistle. Here's Franklin on the high post, 10 on the shot clock. In the corner, here's Woody for 3. That's way short. Franklin the rebound for Rose-Hulman. It did not hit the rim apparently, so only 4 on the shot clock. Franklin from the baseline, no good. And Feathers able to get the rebound there for the Quakers. Earlham basketball. 5:38 to go here in the quarter. White at the left elbow. Back outside to McFarland. Swings it right side Pittman. Pittman with 18 on the shot clock. Starts to take off. Left the ball behind. Here's McFarland. High post now to Feathers. Feathers turns. Throws up a shot. Missed it. And the long rebound by Dilworth. Quakers continue to be cold. Back the other way. Here's Woody driving, and a foul will be called on Lexi McFarland. And we will go to the free throw line once again. Hannah Woody. Woody heading to the line for the first time. Quakers again just 5 points so far here in the first half of play. I don't know what the low is on the season for points and a half, but Maddie Crodel coming in now, 5'11" freshman. I think that other than, 3 players right now, the Quakers have emptied out their bench. Kendall Spears has checked in. Second free throw good, so Earlham trying to find an answer offensively and using several different combinations here in the first half. Crodel at the high post, guarded there by a much bigger Josie Schmidt at 6'3". Here's Cameron White on the drive. White got bumped, throws up a shot, and they'll say it's a 2-shot foul, and the foul will go against Chiara Franklin. That is going to be her second for Rose-Hulman. So Cameron White at the line for 2 shots. This is her first trip to the free throw line, and unsuccessful on the first. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Coming back in the ballgame, Allie Broman-Schenkel out of Mendota, Illinois, the place where they used to make brake pads. Second free throw is good. 16-6. People that are listening in Mendota, Illinois are going, what is he talking about? We throw out useless facts all the time here. Here's Allie Broman-Schenkel. Brooks will find Woody on the left wing, 14 on the shot clock. Once again, it'll be Marshall. Good work around the perimeter to Woody. Three-pointer, good. Well, they really moved the ball well that time, and Woody hits the 3. That's her first basket. 5 points now by Woody. And Hannah Franklin with the basketball wide open underneath, but missed her was Crodel. Shot missed by Franklin. Rebound. And coming out with it, Abby Marshall for the Fighting Engineers. Marshall with the basketball. Will stop, gives it outside now to Brooks. Now Marshall to the left, a little 1-4 high offense. They're posting up. Schmidt underneath. Skip pass. Good ball movement again. Wide open is Graham. Nobody can take that back. That's Brooks, and she traveled with it. 6 turnovers now by Rose-Hulman. By the way, should mention that Mendota, Illinois, also home of the Z Donuts. We have the square. They have the Z Donut in Mendota, Illinois. Easier to eat. Here's White at the right elbow. Quakers still just 6 points in the first half. Here's Franklin off the screen. Flynn posting. White, top of the key for 3. Got it. Well, they're going to say she was on the line, so just a 2 for the Quakers, but still a much-needed basket. Cameron White now with 3 points. Quakers down 19-8. Here's Brooks, right side once again to Woody. Woody back to Brooks, top of the key. They're looking underneath. Flynn keeping the ball away from Allie Broman-Schenkel. Here's Marshall, back once again to Brooks. 7 on the shot clock. Brooks takes a look, feeds it off once again to Marshall. Cut off on the baseline. Good defense for the Quakers. Three-pointer the way at the buzzer. That is Sophie Brooks for three as the light was going off. And Brooks getting her first basket. And we've got a foul call against, looks like this is going to be Hannah Woody. Woody picked up her second, team foul number 3 now on the Engineers. 3:02 remaining. Woody coming out, and Taylor Graham out of Fisher's back in. Quakers got away with the travel right there off the inbound with Mariah Flynn. Here's White, nearly losing it. Back to Franklin between the circles, and now we'll set up the offense from there. Here's Spears. We'll find White, losing it in the lane, and White able to get it back. Quakers will hold on to the basketball, and I believe we have a foul call against the Engineers. John Prevost, the head coach for Rose-Hulman, he was not happy with that at all. See him right there to the left of your screen, as the foul is going to be called on Taylor Graham. I think he also had an argument about the shot clock. I'm not sure what it was. Flynn hands off to Franklin in the corner. Three-pointer short. Long rebound Franklin. Franklin now in the lane with a pull-up jumper. Good. Hannah Franklin. And Franklin now with 4. Quakers a chance to press. In the backcourt is Brooks. And we have a foul call against the Quakers. And that's going to go against Mariah Flynn. That'll be her first. So the Quakers quickly will pull back into a 2-1-2. .220 to go here in the first half. Here's Marshall. The kick out to Graham, swings it left side now to Abby Broman-Schenkel. Schmidt opposite to Marshall, jumper good. They're pretty good at moving the basketball from side to side. Marshall now with 6. If you don't adjust quickly, you're going to find yourself in trouble. Here's Flynn. Flynn, quick release, no. And the rebound by Marshall. Outlet pass from Abby Broman-Schenkel. Here's Marshall in the lane. The kickback. Once again, it'll be Graham. Outside now to Abby Broman-Schenkel. Graham thought about the 3. Will bounce now to Allie Broman-Schenkel at the high post. Out front to Abby Broman-Schenkel. Left side to Marshall. Schmidt looking inside and a high-low. And a turnover. Once again for Rose-Hulman. That is their 7th turnover. Spears, nothing there. Quakers with a minute 23. Will now reset. That is Crodel out on the high post. We'll hand it to Flynn. Flynn with the right hand throws it up good. How about Mariah Flynn? And Flynn now with 5. She's a left-hander, but used the right hand and a little up and under. Here's Marshall. Marshall driving, left-hand shot good the other way. Quakers can't get a stop. Marshall now with 8 points, and we're under a minute remaining. Franklin for Earlham, pull-up shot of the way, good. Franklin with 6. Now Quakers need a stop right here, get the ball back one more time. Here's Schmidt. Schmidt will get hammered by Crodel. At least Crodel didn't give her an easy basket. Crodel picks up her first. And Josie Schmidt will go to the line for 2. Schmidt out of 84, Pennsylvania. Just down the road from 85. Free throws on the way and short. I wonder why a town was named 84. Well, what was Brownsburg named Brownsburg? Is there anything brown in that town? Oh. Thought somebody from Brownsburg would be able to tell me that answer. Second free throw's no good, so Schmidt. You weren't born there? I'll take that right there. 25-14. Here's Franklin. Pittman on the drive and looks to feed underneath. Goes out of bounds. It'll stay here last touched by the Engineers. 20.2 seconds. They can take the shot clock off. They got to shut it off because it can confuse a team thinking they have to shoot. Here is a block shot out of bounds. Well, they're going to say still 8 on the shot clock, 14 in the game, so they didn't reset it the last time the ball went out of bounds. So here's Franklin again. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Meadows, by the way, back in for the Quakers. Hands off to Franklin. Franklin got the defender Byer, and the shot's going to be blocked by Bromanschenkel, and back the other way with 3 seconds to go. Shot's no good inside by Dilworth, and we have now made it to halftime. As expected, a low-scoring first half. And on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, it is Rose-Hulman 25 and Earlham 14. Your halftime numbers coming up in a moment. This is Earlham Women's Basketball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Hey, Chuck, where are you headed? Spinning's about to start.
I'm heading to CrossFit.
Isn't that for, like, the elite lifters or athletes only?
No. At FFW CrossFit, all workouts can and will be scaled to any ability level to welcome everyone.
Sounds great. I need to get out of the same old workout routine. I'm just not sure I can keep up. It seems pretty intense.
No real lifting experience is needed. FFW CrossFit teaches you everything you need to know and move at your own pace in a positive, motivating environment.
You know, I've always wanted to give it a try. I'll see you there.
Learn more at ffwcrossfit.com.
Are you looking for a quality used car you can trust to take you where you want to go? Stop at Tony's Car Sales at 250 National Road West. Tony's has a top-of-the-line selection of low-mileage, one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, all hand-picked by Mike and Adrian Parker. Tony's is family-owned with 3 generations and 60 years of experience. Check out their selection at tonyscarsales.com or at 250 National Road West. Tony's Car Sales, where honesty, quality, and price sell cars.
Wish me luck, wish me luck. We've all said it. Thing is, life doesn't run on luck. For most people, it takes careful planning. A lot more than, say, crossing your fingers or toes. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Because as your life changes, your life insurance coverage should do the same. And when it comes to your coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
It's game time. The Sportsplex is now open. Get your teams together and come out for basketball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, golf, batting cages, wrestling, and much, much more. The Sportsplex also offers court rentals for your entire team to play a pickup game or to hold practices. Use our turf fields for multiple sports, including flag football, baseball fielding, and rugby. Sportsplex is open 7 days a week. Check out FamilyFitnessWorks.com for more information and current hours, or call 765-935-0111.
Alums, want to connect with the college and your fellow Earlham alumni? Attend an alumni event. Our office is always organizing events locally and around the country and on campus during homecoming and reunion weekend. For information on upcoming events, visit earlham.edu/alumni. We hope to see you soon.
Hi, this is Steve Funkhauser, and I was talking to someone the other day about how friendly and professional the crew at Jiffy Lube is, and they said, "You are always so upbeat. I'm going to call you Mr. Positive." And so now I am Mr. Positive. And I want you to know how proud I am of you and that you are doing a great job today. And hey, do something nice for somebody. Make somebody smile. Smiles are contagious, you know. I want you to have a great day and the horse you rode in on. Jiffy Lube. Fast, friendly, professional. I'm Mr. Positive, and I approve this message.
For over 30 years, Reynolds Plumbing has been keeping the Richmond-Wayne County area running. Whether on commercial properties, restaurants, or residential, they've done quality plumbing, heating, and air work for thousands of customers. It's not just about the quality work, it's also about customer service. It's about attention to details and making absolutely sure you are 100% satisfied. If that's the kind of experience you want in your next plumbing or HVAC job, then Reynolds Plumbing has you covered. Give them a call at 966-0994.
Hey, tonight's game brought to you in part by your Richmond area Subways. Each day of the week, you can get a different 6-inch sub with no artificial flavors or colors, just $3.50. With it being Wednesday, the turkey breast, Thursday, the Italian BMT, and then Friday, my favorite, the tuna. Treat yourself at Subway, 4 locations in Richmond and Hagerstown. Subway, eat fresh. By the way, we had one change on the scoring as the Sophie Brooks We thought it was a three-pointer, just a two-point basket. So let's give you the first half numbers real quick for Rose-Hulman. 9 of 26. Neither team shot well, but wait till we get to the Quaker shooting numbers here in a moment. Rose-Hulman was 9 of 26, 34.6%. They're only 2 of 12 from three-point range. That's 17%. 5 of 7 from the line. They did finish with 17 rebounds, 4 of those offensive. 4 assists, 7 turnovers, 3 blocks. They had 9 steals in that opening half of play. They were led in scoring. Well, let's just run down the numbers. Abby Broman-Schenkel with 1. Dilworth did not score. 7 points by Abby Marshall. Allie Broman-Schenkel with 5. Query 0. Taylor Graham with 3. Sophie Brooks 2. And Hannah Woody with 5 points. And Shiara Franklin with 2 points in the first half for Rose-Hulman. Quakers ended up shooting just 25% in that opening half of play. Get this, they were 15% after one quarter. They were only 2 of 13 in the first period of play. So again, the Quakers 6 of 24, 1 of 5 from three-point range. They only got to the line twice, and Cameron White was 1 for 2 there. Quakers did out-rebound Rose-Hulman. How about that? 19-17 in the first half. 5 of those offensive. 3 assists, 12 turnovers. I had the Quakers for 13, but they've got them for 12. 1 block and 3 steals in the first half. The scoring won't take a whole lot right here. Hannah Franklin with 6, Mariah Flynn with 5, and Cameron White with 3 points. So seems like for the Quakers, it's either one or the other when it comes to you either get points on the board or you don't rebound, you turn the ball over, and then you don't score. I mean, there's always something now for the Quakers. They got to put it together here in the second half, down by 11 here at halftime. I mentioned a couple of moments ago we didn't get a chance to talk about the latest HCAC standings going into tonight's action. Bluffton and Rose-Hulman both at 7-1. Transylvania 6-2. Franklin and Hanover both 5-3. Defiance is 4-4. Manchester 3-5, Anderson 2-6, the Quakers at 1-7, and Mount St. Joseph at 0-8 coming into tonight's action. We'll come back and check out your latest scoreboard coming up in men's college basketball, the NBA, and much more. Stay right there. This is Earlham Women's Basketball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
There is one thing for sure in my life. I know nothing about fixing cars. That's why I take my vehicles to Beach Automotive at 110 East Main in Richmond. Their experts have the knowledge to service and repair even the most challenging auto problems. So if you have an automotive question, they have the answers at Beach Automotive, 110 East Main in Richmond. Or give them a call at 765-966-8181 or visit their website, beach-auto.com.
Getting a lucky break rocks, but no one can be lucky all the time. Which is why when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, the company that believes great coverage starts with care. A cost-free consultation offered to anyone, Farm Bureau client or not, that allows agents to get to know you better so they can help you prepare better. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
There's a place in Richmond's Depot District that's better than being home. Little Sheba's is a lot like the bar in that 80s TV show where everybody knows your name. Come on down after the game on Fridays and join us for pizza. We're here till 11. Or grab some friends and come play live trivia Thursday nights at 6:30. If you love live music, Little Sheba's features some of the very best every weekend. Where else can you find this kind of variety along with some of the best food and friends in town? Little Sheba's in Richmond's Depot District. It really is better than being home.
Hello, my name is Kyle Schwarzkopf. I'm the manager of Kyle's National Road Auto in business in Richmond since 1979. We employ ASE certified technicians and we have over 80 years of experience. We work on all domestics and most European and Japanese cars. Give us a call at 966-1555. Kyle's National Road Auto Service. My name is Kyle Schwarzkopf and I approve this message.
Students, the Earlham College Alumni Council is happy to support you in many ways, like working at career events and providing funding for student summer research with faculty. It won't be long until you're alumni yourselves, so look for them when they're on campus. They're one of your best resources for information about life after Earlham.
Back once again here at the Athletics and Wellness Center at halftime, 25-14, Rose-Hulman on top. Let's get you updated on some of the scores going on. First off, in the NBA, there are two games at halftime. Washington leading Memphis 66-51. Also at the half, Charlotte on top of Portland 54-46. Almost halftime, Toronto on top of Philadelphia 42-40. And in the second quarter, Boston leading New York 36-31. Later tonight, it will be Orlando at New Orleans. In fact, they should be tipped off by now, along with Atlanta, Detroit, Milwaukee, Houston, Oklahoma City, Golden State, and the Pacers on the road tonight at Sacramento. Men's college basketball won halftime score out of the ACC. Number 10, Florida State, leading number 15, Notre Dame, 39-33. West Virginia ranked 7th in the country, trailing Oklahoma. They just got underway in the second half of that game, 40-37. Number 16, Virginia Boston College, just underway. In the second half, number 24, South Carolina, leading number 19, Florida, 35-30. And also in the second half, Florida is now trailing South Carolina, 40-37. Gators, a little behind right there. And number 20, Cincinnati's trailing Temple in the second half, 39-34. Women's college basketball at halftime. How about this score? Number 9, Louisville, leading Georgia Tech 50-15. Iowa State's at Baylor tonight, UCLA at USC, TCU at Kansas State, and West Virginia's at Kansas. In the NHL, in the opening period, Arizona leading Winnipeg 2-1. Pittsburgh, Montreal, no score in the first. Boston at Detroit, Florida at Edmonton, and San Jose is at Los Angeles. That's your update on the national scene. We'll come back, and the second half is coming up in just a few moments. Quakers trail it here at halftime, 25-14. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. This is Earlham Women's Basketball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Hi, this is Troy Argowski of Radio Troy Digital Sports. There are plenty of places for me to get lunch or dinner, but there's only one Mancino's. In fact, I was just there for lunch the other day and had a delicious pizza grinder. That's just one of many choices I can get at Mancino's. How about a fresh salad? Several varieties of pasta, Mancino's Lights, or perhaps even an oven-baked spaghetti, or maybe a pepperoni pizza. So when you're looking for a great lunch or dinner, make sure you choose Mancino's, 217 National Road West in Richmond.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you're born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
Maybe you haven't heard, but there's a place in Richmond's Depot District that's better than being home. Little Sheba's is a lot like the bar in that 80s TV show Cheers. You know, where everybody knows your name. Come on down after the game on Fridays and join us for pizza. We're here till 11. Or grab some of your friends and try out a game of live trivia Thursday nights at 6:30. If you love live music, Little Sheba's features some of the very best every weekend. Where else are you going to find this kind of variety, along with some of the best food and friends in town? Little Sheba's in Richmond's Depot District. It really is better than being home.
For over a century, Richmond Power and Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, Richmond Power and Light is advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. For more information on Richmond Power and Light, go to their website at rp-l.com. Richmond Power and Light. Together, we make powerful partners.
There's only one place to go on the World Wide Web to find the best automotive deals. WetSolano.com. One of the area's largest inventories all in one spot. Wetzelauto.com. Here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wetzelauto.com. New and used vehicles, service, parts, body shop, and rental. Plus, value your trade. It's easy to navigate. It's convenient. Wetzelauto.com. It's clickin' awesome.
It takes a lot of pieces working together to run a successful business in today's world. One big piece is your connectivity, powered by your internet. For local businesses in Richmond, you have options for who provides your internet. When deciding who to go with, you need to look at Parallax Systems, fiber optic packaging for your benefit. Speed, reliability, and local service, you get it all with Parallax Systems, a division of RP&L. Visit online at parallax.ws or call 962-3770. We're back once again here at the Athletics and Wellness Center. By the way, after tonight, we mentioned the Quakers will be on the road. They will travel to Manchester Saturday, and then next Wednesday they'll go to Transylvania. They won't be back here until they play Franklin on January the 28th. So we talk about, 4 out of 5 games on the road. This is their one home game sandwiched in between road trips. The last 2 games on the road at Defiance and Mount St. Joe, and then again Manchester and Transylvania. There you see Mariah Flynn. Quakers, what adjustments will they make to try to get some points on the board here in the second half? So Flynn will inbound, and Rose-Hulman man-to-man, as Coach mentioned, Janelle Iden. They're going to go man-to-man throughout. By the way, Josie Schmidt getting the start in the second half for the Engineers, the 6'3" senior. Quakers have had a difficult time shooting tonight. They've had some looks, but they missed some layups here tonight, too. Schmidt gets the block. Pittman trying to get inside for the layup. And here come the Engineers once again. Schmidt out on the high post, facing up Pittman, throws it way over the head and out of bounds, intended for Abby Marshall. And that'll be a turnover for Rose-Hulman on their first possession of the second half. So now Flynn will inbound once again. Here's Pittman. By the way, Franklin, a shooting guard at Randolph Southern High School, now trying to play a little point guard in her senior season. Here's Flynn out on the high post. Looney posting up underneath. Looney against the 6'3". Schmidt misses with a left hand. Schmidt with a rebound and gets it now to Abby Bromanshenkel. And a low pass intended for Dilworth. Second turnover of the half for the Fighting Engineers, and then the ball almost stolen away by Abby Marshall. Pass was intended for Hannah Franklin. So it'll be Flynn inbounding, 24 seconds on the shot clock. That is Hannah Franklin near midcourt, guarded there by Marshall. Marshall at 5'10". Take that back. That's going to be Abby Bromanshenkel. Here's the drive. Pittman for 3. Missed it off the front of the rim, and the rebound by Dilworth. So Quakers stay cold, and the Engineers turning the ball over here in the third quarter. Here's Marshall out on the high post. Allie Bromanshenkel reverses it left side. Now to Dilworth. Back out front to Abby Bromanshenkel. And another turnover. 3 straight turnovers for Rose-Hulman. Quakers almost giving it back, and that'll be a foul against Abby Marshall diving on the floor. So Abby Marshall just picked up her second. Quakers will bring Cameron White into the lineup. So a rough start for both these teams here in this second half. 3 straight turnovers for Rose-Hulman, and in fact, neither team has been able to score, and we played 2 minutes. That is Looney out on the high post. Now McFarland. McFarland trying to find an opening with another screen. Drives, has her shot blocked. And once again, Quakers try to go inside. Nothing there.
Here's Dilworth across the 10-second line out the right elbow. Out on the high post, Allie Broman-Schenkel will reverse it. Here is Abby Broman-Schenkel short on the shot. And the rebound, and we've got a foul. I think they got Maya Looney for her third on the shove underneath, as she sent Allie Broman-Schenkel out of bounds. So the Quakers, in fact, well, they're going to keep Looney in for now. We'll change that because I think now Zoe Curtis will come in. So Curtis is in. Quakers will also bring in the ball game Amy Wiesner. Wiesner, the 5'7" freshman, knocking that one out of bounds. 7:33 remaining here in the quarter. And we're stuck with no points either way. Allie Broman-Schenkel now to Abby Broman-Schenkel on the left wing. Schmidt on the high post, reversing it to Dilworth. Dilworth back outside to Graham for three. Got it. There's your first points in the quarter. Graham with her second three-pointer. She has 6, and the lead now at 14. Here is Hannah Franklin trying to find an opening once again, and the Quakers turn it over. That's turnover officially number 13. Back the other way is Rose-Hulman running the floor. The shot's going to be missed by Graham, and we have a jump ball in the lane. It will be Engineers basketball, but they will lose the possession arrow. Spears will come back in now for the Quakers. Spears getting more playing time here tonight. The entry past Schmidt. Schmidt will be fouled, and that's a quick whistle against Zoe Curtis, and Curtis will pick up her first. So now the Engineers will inbound. 6:58 remaining here in the quarter. Schmidt right back to the inbounder, Abby Broman-Schenkel. Looks back inside to Schmidt. Boy, they have turned the ball over, speaking of the Engineers, a lot here in the third. Wiesner able to run down the basketball, and then a whistle and a foul off the steal, and that'll go against Dilworth. And this has been a rough start for Rose-Hulman here in the third quarter. Both teams now with 2 here in the third. Only 3 points total between the two teams. Quakers still looking for their first points in the second half. Here's Mariah Flynn. And there's a blocking foul called against Taylor Graham. Graham just picked up her second. And we will see a change. I believe that's going to be Chiara Franklin coming in, the sophomore out of Kansas City. And also coming back in for the Engineers will be Abby Marshall. 6:42 to remaining in the quarter. Fresh 30. Flynn back off to White. White back outside to Spears. Shot fake. It'll be White driving down the lane. White left it short. The rebound by Marshall. And the Quakers still have not scored in the third quarter. Lead pass will find Graham. Here is Franklin. The kick out. Three-pointer by Abby Broman-Schenkel. And there's another three. Broman-Schenkel gets her first points of the ball game, averaging 6.9. Now has 3. Her sister Allie with just 5, no points in the third. Quakers trying to draw the offensive foul, or take that back. The foul right there as Flynn went to the floor against Abby Broman-Schenkel. 10 on the shot clock. Entry pass tipped, and the ball loose, stolen away. 14 turnovers for the Quakers. Earlham will make another change. Looks like Franklin coming back in. Here is Graham, another three, good, and Graham this time hits the 3. And the Quakers have to get a timeout as Graham now with 9, and Earlham using their second timeout. We will take a timeout as well. 5:40 remaining in the quarter on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Quakers down by 20.
The dealership where I bought my car told me I needed new tires. So, of course, I stopped by Best One and asked Roger to take a look. So they checked it out, and he told me not yet. He said I was good for at least another 10,000 miles. I've always gotten an honest opinion at Best One, and so will you.
Hi, I'm Roger Clark at Best One Tire and Service. We'll only sell you tires when you need new tires, and they'll be the right tires for your car or truck. I guarantee it.
Best One Tire and Service, North 7th and A, Uptown Richmond.
Hey, tonight's game brought to you in part by Jason Wise of Better Homes and Gardens First Realty Group. And he has an idea for an alternative fundraiser for your school group or nonprofit. If you list, buy, or refer a customer and mention this promotion, he'll donate 10% of what he makes on the transaction to the school group or nonprofit of your choice in your name. Tell your friends, family, colleagues to mention this offer when listing with Jason Wise at Better Homes and Gardens First Realty Group. Give him a call for more information at 969-3400. Quakers needed a timeout. They now trail this one by 20, and it will be Quaker basketball. They've been outscored 9-0 in the quarter. Rose-Hulman, a little light pressure on the basketball as Hannah Franklin back in for the Quakers. Will get it across the timeline. Spears to her left. That is Curtis setting that high screen. Franklin again looking for an opening on the drive. 15 on the shot clock. Here's White at the right elbow. White will hand it off now to Franklin. Franklin again gets the screen from Meadows. Reverses back to White. 6 on the shot clock. Now the ball will be tipped out front. It goes out of bounds, and good hands. Nice hustle that time by Abby Marshall. But now the Quakers have just 2 on the shot clock right here. Meadows will inbound. Here's White. Quick release, and there is a shot clock violation. That is the 3rd time the Quakers have had a shot clock violation here tonight. Quakers now with 15 turnovers. And Earlham pressing with the dead ball. Lead pass will find Sophie Brooks is back in for Rose-Hulman. Brooks will bring it across the 10-second line. Looking inside to Schmidt at 6'3". Schmidt double dribbles, no whistle, throws it up with the left hand, got it. I'm not sure that Schmidt even saw where the basket was, but was able to get it in. And the Quakers now have been outscored 11-0 here in the 3rd quarter. Here's Hannah Franklin, crossover with the left hand. Will bounce now to Spears. Spears looking inside to Curtis. Now we'll find Meadows. Meadows will drive, turns in the lane, throws up a shot, missed it. Schmidt at 6'3" with a rebound. Why couldn't I have been 6'3"? It will be Rose-Hulman basketball. And that'll be a foul on Meadows. 36-14, 4:19 remaining. And Earlham still just trying to find someone who can put some points on the board as Looney coming in, Stroud coming in, and also coming in will be Pittman. By the way, Pittman averaging nearly 10 a game. She has not scored here tonight. Looney has not scored for the Quakers as well. Engineers go down low. Reverse layup is going to be missed by Marshall. Marshall gets the rebound. It did not hit the rim, so still the shot clock down to 14. And here's Brooks off the right side to Franklin. Franklin sweeps, takes it in the lane with the left hand, no good. And Looney able to get the rebound. Quick outlet pass to Franklin. Franklin looking left. Here's Stroud. Bouncing down low, was intended for White and goes out of bounds. Quakers turn it over for the 16th time. Jenna Query coming back in. She's out of Midland, Michigan, played at Dow High School. Entry pass off the inbound. Quakers try to press and trap right here. They'll try to force some turnovers as the lead pass will find Query. Drive in the lane and a foul, and they may have gotten Looney for number 4, and they did. Abby Marshall taking it right at Maya Looney, and Looney, the 5'10 senior, is going to have to sit down again. Back in the ball game will be Maddie Crodel. Boy, you look at right now, there are 4 freshmen on the floor for the Quakers and 1 senior. Rose-Hulman basketball. 3:34 to go in the quarter. Marshall swinging it right side, Abby Broman-Schenkel. She'll drive in the lane, the kick out. Here's a 3 by Query, no good. Ball tipped in the lane, still loose. Picked up and thrown in inside by Abby Broman-Schenkel. Quakers cannot get to the 50-50 ball either. 38-14. 13-0 run, and another turnover for Earlham. On the run the other way. Numbers in favor of Rose-Hulman as Brooks can't get the shot to go, but still managed to get the rebound. So now Earlham getting beat on the boards as well here in the quarter. That is Abby Broman-Schenkel. Spins with it, double teamed. Now will spin again, throws it off the glass and good. I'll tell you what, everything falling now for Rose-Hulman. Quakers can't buy a basket. 40-14. Franklin the other way. Can't get it to go, but she's fouled. A 15-0 run here in the third quarter, and the Quakers down 40-14 with 2:35 remaining. If Franklin can stop this run right here, and she will. It took the Quakers. By the way, the men losing 52-40. They're playing at Rose-Hulman. Second free throw's on the way and good. So the Quakers get on the board, but it took them till 2:35 in the quarter to get their first 2 points. Now trail at 40-16. That press broken relatively easily by the Engineers, and they'll set it up in the half court. On the right wing is Brooks. 9 on the shot clock. The kick out. Here's a 3 on the way. That one rims in and out. No good by Woody, who's entered the ball game. McFarland back in for the Quakers. Wiesner's checked in for Earlham as well. Here's McFarland. Crodel out on the high post to Pittman on the left elbow. Pittman drives down the lane. Scoop shot. Can't get it to fall. And the rebound, Crodel. Fresh 30 for the Quakers. Boy, Earlham has had several shots go in and out, and they've missed a couple of close ones as well. Here's a McFarland 3 in the corner, and it's good. McFarland. And Lexi gets her first points. 40-19. Engineers coming right back the other way. Ball knocked out of bounds by McFarland. Pass intended for Query. And here is Taylor Graham coming back in. By the way, Graham is the only player on this team out of the state of Indiana that plays for Rose-Hulman. Out of Hamilton Southeastern High School. Wide open is Brooks. Three-pointer short. And the rebound, Wiesner there for the Quakers. 1:13 remaining in the quarter. Here's McFarland. Boy, and a collision down low and going hard to the floor for the Quakers was Taylor Stroud. She was slow to get up. Looks like she might have hurt her back as she collided down low with Allie Broman-Schenkel. Here is Stroud. Stroud reverse shot. No, as that one goes over the rim. And back the other way, here's Allie Broman-Schenkel. Broman-Schenkel looking right. It'll be Dilworth. 45 seconds on the game clock. Now 19 on the shot clock here for the Engineers. That is Graham out on the high post to Allie Broman-Schenkel. Driving down the lane. Missed the shot. And Stroud battling it with her teammate Pittman. And Pittman comes away with it for the Quakers. Pittman back outside to McFarland. 2 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Wiesner gets bumped coming across the top of the circle. Here's Pittman. And Pittman looking right. Wiesner driving to the baseline. Stops. 8 seconds on the shot clock. It'll be Pittman. And has her shot blocked by Dilworth. Dilworth comes away with it. And Dilworth will go coast to coast and will be fouled. And the foul against McFarland. Another bad decision for the Quakers offensively. And that'll be team foul number 5 on Earlham, and Dilworth will go to the line. Dilworth averaging 8.3 points per game. She has not scored tonight. But again, everything double bonus when you get to 5 1/4 in women's college basketball. Earlham now down 41-19, 1.3 remaining. Stroud will come out. And also coming out for the Quakers is Maddie Crodel. Feathers back in. Flynn is back in. Second free throw is good. So Dilworth gets her first points of the ball game, and we will head to the fourth, and the Quakers have a long way to go on this one on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Rose-Hulman 42, Earlham 19. This is Earlham Women's Basketball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Summit Computers in Richmond is a full-service computer manufacturing and support company founded in 1997. They partner with businesses and individuals to provide computer systems, hardware, service, support, and design services. They also provide web hosting, high-speed wireless internet, network design, and much, much more. Summit Computers, the official provider of RadioTroy.com.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Harrington Oak Insurance. You know, at Harrington Oak, they spend every day working to make this community better, safer, and more enjoyable because their focus is on insurance, and that's it. They're on top of industry changes and are a one-stop shop for all your insurance needs, whether it's business, personal, life, or health. That's why when it comes to protecting you and what's important to you, Harrington Oak insures it. Give them a call at 962-9502 or go to their website, harringtonhoak.com. Harrington Hoak, we got it. Well, the Quakers trail this one 42-19 here in the fourth. And it has been a rough offensive night. 5 points in the first, 9 in the second, only 5 in the third. It took until 2:35 in the third quarter to even get a point on the board. They scored just one basket. That was the Lexi McFarland three-pointer. Feathers out on the high post looking for Flynn. Flynn got fouled immediately by Allie Broman-Schenkel, or wait a minute. No, they called, a 3-second violation on Flynn. That's a tough call, especially when Allie Broman-Schenkel was reaching in. That's why you play some at home and some on the road. Here is Allie Broman-Schenkel. Will find Dilworth. Schmidt knocked away. Turnover by Rose-Hulman. That is their 13th. Here's Franklin. White back out to Franklin. Bounce pass now to McFarland. McFarland guarded out front by Brooks. Here's Cameron White once again. Still plenty of time on the shot clock with 13. White looks underneath. Feathers trying to find an opening underneath. Here is Franklin. Off now to White. 6 on the shot clock. Lob pass down to Feathers. Layup good. 9. By the way, give that assist and a nice pass by Flynn. And Feathers will get her first 2. Back the other way. We've got a foul call. That's going to put Dilworth at the line. Dilworth is 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Foul's going to go against Lexi McFarland. That is her 3rd. Dilworth out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. They say that in Grand Rapids they have the best chili of anybody else in Michigan. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's what I've heard. 43-21. Second free throw is off the back of the iron, and we have a rebounding foul. That'll go against Allie Broman-Schenkel. Head coach John Prevost played his college basketball at Indiana State. His 11th year for the Engineers. The Quakers are going to have to really play well. In fact, they'd need a miracle right here to win this one here tonight, but try to finish something positive right here, and that's not it. And that's over and back. Just some really silly turnovers. Quakers will have 8 games remaining, if I'm not mistaken, after tonight. They would have to have a lot of help to get into the tournament, though it's still possible. Wide open is Abby Broman-Schenkel, another 3. And Quakers down 46-21. Entry pass will find Flynn. Flynn with a left hand off the glass, good. And Mariah Flynn has played well tonight. Just not enough for the Quakers. Try to zone trap again. Broken easily with a pass to Dilworth. And on the high post here is Allie Broman-Schenkel in the corner. Three-point shot, no good by Taylor Graham. Flynn with the rebound and then turns it over. And they'll attack underneath. That is going to be Allie Broman-Schenkel. Missed it close. Was guarded there by Hannah Franklin as the Quakers head the other way. And that'll be blocked out of bounds. And White trying to take it strong to the basket. Kayla Gherkin will come back in for Rose. Back in for the Quakers will be Ashley Meadows. McFarland back in. And also Chiara Franklin coming in now for Rose-Hulman. 7:38 remaining. Franklin off the inbound. Take that back. That's McFarland to White. Gets the screen by Feathers. The roll inside and a foul called. They'll get Abby Broman-Schenkel. That will be her first. Well, it was the 15-0 run in that third quarter that put the Quakers down big. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. Meadows gives it off now to McFarland. McFarland in the lane, takes it to the basket, misses it long, and Meadows with a rebound. It did not hit the rim. 19 on the shot clock. Spears give it off now to McFarland. Here's Spears on the right elbow. Feathers out on the high post, looking left, now right, will go to White. White sweeps through, drives to the baseline, off the glass, no good, and we've got a foul call, a blocking foul against Chiara Franklin. And that's going to be her third. So here's Cameron White. White 3 points tonight and misses the front of two. Pittman back in. Boy, Pittman again has not scored tonight for the Quakers, as we'll see Kendall Spears come out of the ball game. Second free throw is on the way and good. So Marshall back in as well for the Engineers. And the Quakers down by 22. Well, so far the numbers have kind of added up where they thought they would be, at least from a defensive standpoint. The drive, the shot, no good by Abby Broman-Schenkel. The Quakers really, you take 46 points in the fourth quarter against a team like Rose-Hulman, but you certainly had to put some points on the board. And the Quakers have not done that here tonight. Here's Pittman. Stotts gives it up now to Meadows. Meadows now will drive and misses that shot. Feathers tips it, and it'll be White, fresh 30 for the Quakers. McFarland to White. They're looking underneath to Feathers. Feathers will post up underneath once again, and Feathers draws a double team from behind, and they'll get Franklin on the foul. So Feathers will go to the line. Franklin just picked up number 4. And here's Feathers at the line. Feathers at 56% from the free throw line this season. And the Quakers now down by 21 as Allie Broman-Schenkel coming back in. By the way, this is still a very young Rose-Hulman team. They have just one senior. That is Schmidt on their roster. Second free throw is good. And the Quakers down by 20 here in the fourth. Just over 6 minutes remaining. Here's Marshall. Looks to go inside. Ball tipped. White jumps on it, and the possession arrow will stay with Rose-Hulman, but they will turn the ball over after giving up the possession arrow. And the Quakers are going to get a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. 6:07 remaining in this one. Quakers down by 20 on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard.
Getting a lucky break rocks, but no one can be lucky all the time. Which is why when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, the company that believes great coverage starts with care. A cost-free consultation offered to anyone, Farm Bureau client or not, that allows agents to get to know you better so they can help you prepare better. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
As they trail at 46-26. Timeout by the Quakers, 6:07 remaining. Meadows will inbound. And now we're waiting for the final official to get into place. Here we go. Here's Pittman. Pittman driving to the basket, and we've got another foul. This could be a long fourth quarter. Allie Broman-Schenkel picks up her second. So everything now for the Quakers will be 2 shots. That is the 5th foul on the Engineers. And Pittman on the board for the first time tonight, averaging 9.8 points per game. And the Quakers down by 19. Second free throw is on the way and good. So Pittman with 2. Here's the zone trap once again. Allie Broman-Schenkel will get it across the timeline to Marshall. Marshall bouncing on the high post. Here's Gherkin looking down low with a left hand. Good as he went back into Allie Broman-Schenkel. And they had that size advantage underneath. Quakers unable to stop the 6'1 sophomore. 8 points now by Allie Broman-Schenkel. And Quaker basketball. Here's Cameron White. White has had some all thumbs days here at Earlham, just sometimes not holding onto the ball very well. And here is the entry pass down low to Feathers. Can't get the shot to fall. Meadows, and we have a reaching foul. John, when watching John Prevost, he's not happy because he saw his team jumping on the floor for the loose basketball. Thought it could have been a jump ball right there. And he just told the one official to watch for 3 seconds. As Meadows goes to the line, Meadows has not scored tonight for the Quakers. And she'll be back in for number 2. Wiesner's come in, also Maddie Crodel coming in. As Feathers will sit down and White will sit down. Second free throw now by Meadows. And misses them both, in the rebound by Brooks. 5:15 remaining in this one. Well, that was almost a turnover there by Graham. Pull-up shot will be Abby Broman-Schenkel. Left it short. Here's McFarland. McFarland quickly across the 10-second line. Ball tipped and turnover Quakers. That is the 21st turnover. And Rose-Hulman is in a giving mood as well. They just gave it right back. That's their 15th. Wiesner with the ball now for the Quakers. Here's Pittman. Jump stop, top of the key. Will fire away off the back of the rim. And the rebound pulled down by Allie Broman-Schenkel. And here come the Engineers once again. This is Abby Broman-Schenkel. And I think that's going to be a timeout, and it is by Rose-Hulman. 4:30 to go on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Quakers down by 20.
Visit the new Georgia Direct showroom and see the great variety of cabinets on display in a modern setting. Georgia Direct carries quality craft-made one cabinets, and the new showroom has plenty of styles and colors on display. In Richmond, craft-made one is only available at Georgia Direct, where the designers are always on hand to help create a custom kitchen for your home. Visit Georgia Direct's new showroom on 40 East, next to Red Lobster. You'll love what you see, and you'll love the savings at Georgia Direct.
Hey, this is Steve, and out at Jiffy Lube the other day, a customer came in and said, Steve, this was my 100th oil change on this car, and you've done them all.
Hi, my name is George Farrell, and I've been coming to Jiffy Lube for over 14 years. I recently just had my 100th oil change. I'd like to thank Steve Funkhauser and his staff for the great service that they've provided me over the years. Thank you to all, and I would recommend anyone to come to Jiffy Lube to get their car serviced.
Jiffy Lube, #1 in customer satisfaction for a reason.
After the game, we'll name the Wesley Bates Wealth Management Player of the Game and also the Subway Sub of the game. Kind of looking here, who is going to be the leader in that area. It looks like Shania Feathers has 4. Cameron White with 4. Looks like those are the 2 leaders, at least off the bench, for the Quakers here tonight. So it'll be Engineers basketball following the timeout. See if they'll try to use a little clock as well. That's been their mantra coming in, and they got a little bit of a hurry, I think, in their last 2 possessions or so. Here's Abby Bromanchenko with the basketball. Graham will reverse it to the left. Pull-up shot on the baseline with 1 on the shot clock. That is Lindsay Fagerberg, who's checked into the ball game. So Fagerberg gets her first 2 as the Quakers come back and turn it over yet one more time. Hannah Woody will come in for Rose-Hulman. Back in will be Maya Looney as well for the Quakers. Franklin is in. Rose-Hulman facing that trap. They really haven't had too much problem with it. Here's Fagerberg. She's out of Buena Vista, Colorado. Back into the half court. We'll talk about Buena Vista in a moment. Fagerberg looking inside. Skip pass will find Woody. Here's Brooks. Back to Woody. 3-pointer on the way with 2 on the shot clock. Missed it. Offensive rebound. Fagerberg can't get it to go, and a foul. And I believe they ended up getting Hannah Woody on the foul.
Number 24, Hannah Woody, third.
Third foul on Woody. By the way, Buena Vista, home of the triple-decker cheeseburger that's, they say, is the best in the country out there in Colorado. Free throws on the way, good by Looney. What's that? No, that's true. I lived in Colorado for many years. The Buena Vista triple-decker burger. Second free throw's on the way. It is good. Really good during ski time, too, by the way. Looney with 2 points. Quakers trap once again. It's a great burger. Onion, cheese, pickle. You know, because in the mountains, Buena Vista is. Entry pass. Now we'll find Allie Bromanchenko and a foul underneath. Thing it's on a special bun too. It's not like the sesame seed bun. It's quite like it, but not. You know. Here. Foul's going to be called on Mariah Flynn, and they have some special sauce to it too. You know, kind of like Burger King, but better. Free throw's good by Allie Bromanchenko. She now has 8. And the thing about it, when they cook it, is only by wood. They use wood fire. No, nothing else. You can smell it for miles around there in Buena Vista. Second free throw, no good. 51-30. Entry pass, and we have another foul call. They're going to get Allie Bromanchenko, and they're now blowing the whistle all over the place. So here is Mariah Flynn at the line. Flynn was 7. This is her first trip to the free throw line. Flynn is out of Kodak, Tennessee. Free throws up and no good. What's that? Second free throws. I'm not going to have you guys make fun of me. I'm not telling you. Second free throw is good, 51-31, just because I'm trying to educate you people. You people. Quakers again with the zone trap. Easily broken. Here's Fagerberg. 17 on the shot clock, 2:42 to go. Fagerberg looking into that high post, and once again, Allie Bromanchenko around the perimeter now to Woody. White reaching in, and they'll get the foul on White. I try to focus a lot on foods more than anything, because a lot of people visit places because of their food. That way, when you go to Buena Vista, you'll know to get their triple burger. I'll say next time what Kodak's known for. Fresh 30 on the shot clock for Rose-Hulman. Quakers will not have time here tonight, and again, just no offense. And right now, the Engineers very happy to make the Quakers work defensively. Here's Query, and they turn it over. Boy, they've turned it over a lot, 16 times. Here's Hannah Franklin. Stops, fires, and misses off the front of the rim. Rebound, Flynn, put back good. Flynn now with 10. 1:51 to go. And the left-hand shot missed by Fagerberg. Might have had the triple burger before she got here. Wiesner with the basketball for the Quakers. Will give it back out to Franklin. We'll see McFarland come back in, and also coming back in for the Quakers will be Pittman. There's that double high screen. Franklin trying to find an opening. Looney gets down the lane. Franklin drives, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay right here. A fresh 30 with 1:19 remaining. I'm a little surprised that our camera guy, Dalton Carter, looked at me like he did, too, about, well, if I'm going to find something about Brownsburg next time. Here's White. And another foul on Rose-Hulman. Query will pick up the foul. What did I just say? Query picks up the foul. That's her first. Here is White at the line. Off the back of the iron, no good. Cameron back in for another. Hey, if you say Broman Schenkel 85,000 times tonight, second free throw. What? Quilly. I'm Elma. Second free throw good by Cameron, 51-34. Well, I think Quakers win this game tonight if they just score more points. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. 1 minute remaining. Woody back out front now to Brooks. Entry pass goes out of bounds. It was intended for Query. That is the 17th turnover for Rose-Hulman, and we'll see a couple of changes. Stroud coming back in for the Quakers. We will also see, for the first time tonight, Danielle Long, a 5'3" freshman out of Fishers, Indiana. Played at International High School. Here's Pittman. Down to her final 42 seconds, and the Quakers turn it over. Unofficially 23 turnovers for Earlham. Stepping up, firing and missing will be Fagerberg. Ball rebounded, put back by Fagerberg. It goes out of bounds. It will stay Rose-Hulman basketball, 25.2. The shot clock is off. They do not have to shoot again if they choose not to. Kyra Joseph, a 5'7" freshman out of Covenant Christian High School in Indianapolis, is now checked in for the Quakers. I would imagine right now all Rose-Hulman will try to do is run this out unless they get a layup, or let's give it right back. 18 turnovers, 12.7 to go. So the Quakers will lose their 15th game of the year. They'll fall to 1-8 in conference play. I would imagine the 34 points might be a season low. They had 35 at Kenyon. And that is their season low if they don't score again. And they turn it over one more time, and that's going to do it. Your final score, On your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, Rose-Hulman 51, Earlham 34. We'll come back and wrap it up next. This is Earlham Women's Basketball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For over 30 years, Reynolds Plumbing has been keeping the Richmond-Wayne County area running. Whether on commercial properties, restaurants, or residential, they've done quality plumbing, heating, and air work for thousands of customers. It's not just about the quality work, it's also about customer service. It's about attention to details and making absolutely sure you are 100% satisfied. If that's the kind of experience you want in your next plumbing or HVAC job, then Reynolds Plumbing has you covered. Give them a call at 966-0994.
Hi, this is Steve Funkhauser, and I was talking to someone the other day about how friendly and professional the crew at Jiffy Lube is, and they said, "You are always so upbeat. I'm going to call you Mr. Positive." And so now I am Mr. Positive. And I want you to know how proud I am of you and that you are doing a great job today. And hey, do something nice for somebody. Make somebody smile. Smiles are contagious, you know. I want you to have a great day and the horse you rode in on. Jiffy Lube. Fast, friendly, professional. I'm Mr. Positive, and I approve this message.
Are you looking for a quality used car you can trust to take you where you want to go? Stop at Tony's Car Sales at 250 National Road West. Tony's has a top-of-the-line selection of low-mileage, one-owner cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, all hand-picked by Mike and Adrian Parker. Tony's is family-owned with 3 generations and 60 years of experience. Check out their selection at Tony'sCarSales.com or at 250 National Road West. Tony's Car Sales, where honesty, quality, and price sell cars.
Well, the Quakers lose it here tonight and will lose their 15th game of the year. Your final score, once again, 51-34. They held the Engineers to probably where they wanted them to be at 51, but again, the Quakers just could not score, and that 15-0 run at the beginning of the third quarter was the huge difference in this one here tonight for Earlham. They also ended up turning the basketball over 24 times tonight. Had to stop the turnovers tonight in order to win this game. Let's go ahead and name the Subway sub of the game for tonight's contest. And let's go with Cameron White. White had 5 points off the bench tonight for the Quakers. She is the Subway sub of the game. And the Wesley Bates Wealth Management player of the game tonight, Mariah Flynn. Flynn finished with 10 points for the Quakers, the only player in double figures tonight for Earlham. So again, Mariah Flynn is the Wesley Bates Wealth Management player of the game. Quakers will be on the road at Manchester Saturday. They'll be on the road at Transylvania Wednesday. Their next home contest will be January 28th against Franklin. That is a 4 o'clock start time. We'll have it for you. That's part of a men's and women's doubleheader on that Saturday. The men at 2, the women at 4. Final score once again, Rose-Hulman 51, Earlham 34. Thanks for being with us. This has been Earlham Women's Basketball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.